tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live, The Trend. I'm your host, Derrial, Christon, and joining me today is Courtney Stewart.
Hi, guys.
And our very special guest today, hip-hop artist Chad Watson, is with us.
Woo,
Thank you.
Welcome.
Man.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's a big week. It's Grammys week. You know, since we
Wow.
started the beginning of the year, it's been awards after awards after awards. Now
It's
we got the
award
music
season.
coming up this weekend. This is your category.
Yep.
He's like, yep. Well, we're going to talk about you and your music and your touring and everything that you've been doing. But we're going to start off with the topics, and because there's some good ones this
Got
week.
some hot topics
Got some
going
hot
on
topics.
this week. We got some things going on. So this week, we started off the week, we had a holiday, and over the weekend, those of you that are fans of the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise got a little entertainment on Sunday that sparked some conversation in the Twitterverse and social media land the day after. So one of the characters on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Miss Porsha Williams, has been, going through some things with her special significant other, Dennis McKinley. They've recently had a daughter together, and they were engaged. However, while she was pregnant, turns out he was cheating on her, and they've kind of broken up, and we've been watching them kind of go through the process after the breakup on this new season of the show. The thing that got people talking, though, was the episode this week. Dennis had called her mother and her sister and his mother to their home to have a conversation. And he wanted to apologize to her mom and her sister and his own mom for his behavior and having, stepped outside of the relationship and caused problems. And he basically said that they are still working to try to mend fences with each other and figure out where their relationship's going to go. But he felt like to be a responsible person, he had to own up to his own stuff to the family as well, because the family matters and the family was important. And conversation on the social media land was kind of mixed. Some people were saying, why would he ever involve her mom and her sister in their relationship? A relationship is two people. That's crazy. And other people, including Porsha, said, that's amazing. This was the most sensitive, kind thing anybody's ever done for me. Because families are involved, especially when there's a child involved. And because they were talking about how when the breakup happened, mom would be watching the daughter and she had deleted all his information. She didn't want to respond to his calls. She was icing him out the same way that Porsha was icing him out. So that's kind of where the conversation went. But a lot of people thought it was, kind of awesome that he reached out to her family and actually apologized to them as well. What do you guys think? Do you owe the family any kind of information or apology when a relationship goes south?
I mean, okay, so here's my thing. I got to give it to him because it takes some courage to go into a room with women who you're dating, and it's her family members, her mother, her sister, whoever else. But just alone, the mom and sister, for you to go in there and admit your fault and also apologize and say that you're trying to make amends with their daughter or sister, I got to give them props for it, because do I think that it's necessary? It's not necessarily necessary, but the fact that you do it, to me, shows that you may be very remorseful of what you have done. And also, to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to go up in that house and try and make up with her and then getting the side eye every time I'm walking in the house from the mom and the sister, because I haven't apologized. And they look at me like, every time I'm on my phone, I'm like, oh, I got to go to a meeting. They're like, what meeting you got to go to? You know what I mean? At least you are admitting your fault and trying to say, hey, I'm trying to make it better. So I got to give him props for that, actually, a little bit, because a lot of people would not do that. But, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
I agree.
100%. 100% agree? Okay.
Would you do it? Would you do it?
There's so many dynamics,
right,
ins and outs,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just from what we know, I would go with that standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's just be real. This is TV, all right?
It is TV, true.
He
has businesses.
He's his businesses, and he's trying to show a good face, too.
Yes, for sure.
I am sure that is probably 60% of the reason that he did it.
He did get heavily dragged.
At
He got dragged.
60.
At least 60%.
60%
of why he did it. So so people were looking at him.
If you were the family member on the receiving end of the apology, say, for instance, I know your sister's married, but if she weren't married, she were engaged, and he did some shadiness to her, do you think it would help you get back to a better place, or you still think you would be side-eyeing him? after an apology.
I'm a very unforgiving person, which I need to work on with the Lord. I hold grudges, and it's the Leo in me. It would take me a while to really trust him. I would probably look at him sideways, but everybody is human, and I do respect everybody's human. I'm not perfect, so I would try and look at it as, if I was in that place or if I've done wrong, would I want someone to forgive me? So eventually I probably could if they apologized to me in that manner, but I'm not gonna lie, it would take a minute for me to not keep the side eye going for a little bit. And I would probably be a little distant, a little bit. But you know, I can be shady like that, a little distant.
I understand.
You know,
Yeah.
especially if it's my sister.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be. If I had a brother and it happened, I know it sounds bad, but if it was like, I probably wouldn't be as side-eyed. But
Really?
No,
You wouldn't side-eye the woman as much.
I wouldn't. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I actually don't know.
Do you think it's because he had to have done something that made her step out?
I mean, that could be it. Deep down inside. No, but I don't know. It's just something about the male-female dynamic. Like with it being my sister, I'm gonna be like, come on now.
Yeah, you can't do it. All right. Well, there you go. Everybody. I mean, every family's different. I have no idea. Like, I actually think it's kind of weird because I watched it. I'm clearly a fan of The Housewives. I was kind of like, wow, mama. But then, like, I did respect that, like, because the family's involved, because whether they want to be or not, especially because they have a daughter, a young child. So grandma's watching the baby. He's got to get in touch with grandma to pick up the baby. So, like, they are all intertwined, whether they want to be or not, especially because there's a baby involved. So I get it. But at the same time, I'm a firm subscriber to the relationship. You keep your relationship between each other, because when other people start chiming in, that can also cause problems, whether it's family or not. But of course, I mean, obviously they're on TV, so it's kind of worldwide knowledge.
Even if they weren't, I feel like Porsha would be a person who tells her mom and sister everything anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
Now, do you think men or women are more forgiving in this situation? Like, if he had gone to her father, you know what I mean? Would he?
Oh, women are definitely more forgiving.
You think so?
Period.
I feel like women. You think so?
Women are way more forgiving than men.
You think the women would get over it quicker than the men?
No way that you think that men are more forgiving than females in any aspect
well,
of this
thinking
forum.
Like, would the father be like,
in a romantic
you know what,
forum.
you're a guy I can kind of understand.
My dad would be like, you are hot garbage. Go find Jesus.
Okay.
Like, no.
You said hot garbage.
Like, no.
That was
no.
Right.
No.
That was,
I mean, the cheateration in that situation, she was pregnant, and that's almost like daggers.
That's true.
Like, that's just like, really?
Right.
She was pregnant with your child.
But I'm gonna say this though. But then the argument could be like, well, I wasn't getting none. She was pregnant.
Hey,
and
I'm sorry. That's the most
horny.
You might have been, but that's that one time you need to go to the shower and be with yourself. Like, because she's pregnant. Like, I'm sorry. I get it. Don't get me wrong. Because there's plenty of women.
Get the steam and the lotion out.
Get in that shower and just go ahead and have yourself a private moment, because you
play some R&B music, slow music to yourself.
Exactly. Because it's ridiculous. Oh, God.
Look, Chad's over here like.
This conversation's going somewhere else entirely.
Go somewhere else. All right. Okay. All right. Go on to the next one.
We're going to shift. Normally we do a little Trump date. Meaning, Cheetos update. But we ain't going to really do that. We're going to still talk about him a little bit because, obviously the second biggest news story of the week was his trial, but whatever.
Which is...
I'm exhausted.
I'm tired.
So we decided, it was Martin Luther King week. Why not talk about some of the effery that went down in regards to him with Martin Luther King week? And one of those things was Geraldo Rivera. Who knew he was still floating around somewhere? I don't know. If you watch Fox and Friends and the Fox TV network, then you know that he is hanging out on Fox News and he's a correspondent and chiming in about some random stuff. And this week he decided to talk out of the left side of his neck, and he made the following comment in regards to Cheetos in the office, who I don't call by his proper name. He said, quote, I call him, to great controversy, a civil rights leader, especially yesterday on Martin Luther King Day. Because why? African American unemployment, lowest it's ever been. Latino unemployed, lowest it's ever been. This rising tide is lifting all boats. We should be celebrating. Instead, he's fighting this and this, this cage match, meaning the impeachment. This Geraldo Rivera on national television came out his mouth and said that Donald Trump is a civil rights leader. What y'all think?
I mean,
that we should celebrate.
I almost fell out of that chair when I saw it.
Y'all.
I mean, especially Geraldo. I mean, listen, Geraldo's known for controversial statements through the years. But he is a Latino men.
Yes, he is.
And I don't even know how he could look at himself after making that statement, to be honest with you.
Because Latino unemployment is low.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
that's all that qualifies.
That's all, yeah,
that's all that qualifies.
I'm like, that's the reason, like,
outrageous.
That's
that's
Outrageous. Especially as a person of color.
Yeah.
The remarks he's made publicly about Hispanic community, we know how he feels about African Americans.
Right.
At least he's not as bold.
Right.
To call us, drug dealers and the worst.
Rapists.
The things he said about Mexican
Right.
building the wall, it's
crazy.
It's unimaginable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredulous.
Somebody of Geraldo, because what is Geraldo, like 70-ish?
Is he that old?
He's about 70. He's somewhere around
close
there.
to there if
He's
not
close to
there.
there. And I just think to
I don't
myself.
think 70 yet, though.
Like maybe late 60s. He could be 70 though.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We have to figure that out. But regardless, he is
you're right, yeah,
of the generation of Martin Luther King-ness and knowing
Yes.
that energy. And to, in the same breath, in the same week, make that comparison. Even as just a basic, like, intelligence. It's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
He is 76 years old.
76.
See, I know what I'm talking about.
Wow.
76?
Thank you, Steph, from the booth.
76?
Yes.
Wow, 76.
Even that means he was a grown-up.
Yeah,
I mean, he was of age during Martin Luther King-ness.
Bro, he looks good for
So
76.
He does look good for 76.
He does
I
look
got to
good
give him that
for-
credit.
He does a good spitting
look
out
76.
wow. sense.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Good
Four
for
from
him.
80?
Yeah, he's 4 from 80.
That's crazy.
So he should know better. He really should know better.
He should know better, yeah.
Like, you can't put that, like, that's not even the same conversation.
Yeah.
And if your literal only point is unemployment being low,
Right.
represents
That's what I'm saying. That's not enough.
a rising
Yeah.
civil rights leader, brother.
Yeah.
Like, come on. We
Yeah.
we got a lot more work than that to do.
Yeah.
A lot more, because,
And I can't even give it to him that he's just old and just says what he, they always say
Senile
that
and
you just say
crazy.
stuff,
No,
just
absolutely
say
not.
stuff and you don't care. You are still a figure, a journalist. You know what I mean? Like you need to throw.
So why you think he just wanted press? Like, he thought it was like, ooh, this gonna get people talking? Like, I think he really believes it.
I think he kind of believes it. I want to believe that it was just for press, but I actually think he believes that fact. I really do. Geraldo.
Before
What's up with
this
that?
comment, did you think Geraldo was an individual that would say this? Before he said this, would you think he would align such? Or did this shock you? That's what I'm just trying to say.
The
it
last few
shocks
years,
me.
Geraldo has not shocked me so much.
No, he's
'cause
controversial,
been-
but
he's
to
been
say,
a little bit on the-
would you think that he would say that though? You would think that Geraldo Rivera would say that Donald Trump.
I don't think I would never.
That
think
kind
he
of
would
is-
say
that- that's a little bit-
very
Yeah.
direct statement.
I think so, because he's been pro-Trump.
He's been
like,
pro-Trump.
and that's
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But to say he is a
Civil rights leader, to put it in that same sentence, I would have never guessed that.
I don't
Yeah.
think I would have guessed
Done.
that
No,
for
no,
sure.
No,
Yeah.
so thoroughly.
And once
done.
again, still during the week of MLK, that's just so disrespectful to me.
Super
You know?
disrespectful.
And so, just unfounded, like just
Yeah,
like the
it's
most
just- yeah.
basic, like on the most basic level, it's really unfounded because you can't attribute the. Let's take it on the unemployment. Like, okay, great, lowest unemployment in the history of however long they've been looking for Black people. Okay, we'll say we'll give him
We'll
that.
give you that.
Give you that coin, but like that's not something that happened in the last 3 years. That's been on a steady decline for the last like 8 years actually.
Yeah.
And then to say that unemployment is the only thing that is the wage gap though, I mean the wealth gap is bigger than it's ever been.
It has been.
Oh, yeah.
So
National debt,
they got a job, they working, they the help, but they can't afford to buy a house or get approved for a loan, and so you are now a civil rights leader. Like that
Right.
makes no sense.
Right.
So I just don't understand why.
And let's
any
not even talk about all the
intelligent
jobs
person-
that are about to be eliminated because he's just keeping it to middle class and up, so and upper middle class at that. So
Yeah.
I did read that.
so we won't even get into that subject today.
Oh, Geraldo.
Oh, Geraldo.
Geraldo.
Oh.
Maybe he just wanted to go viral.
Yeah. He wanted to be 76 and talked about still.
That's what it is.
That's
Yeah.
what it
That's
is.
You
what
think
it is.
That's
Derrial
what-
figured
you
it
think he got
out.
that ego? He
There
got
it
that
is.
ego
There you go,
still.
kicked in.
76 and looking.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
what it is.
76 and
Oh,
looking.
is he single? We need to find out. Oh.
Well, you know he got in trouble that time
Didn't he have, like-
posted
hasn't he
nude
had, like, 3
pictures
wives?
or
I know, he looks pretty good.
I thought he
was
had a couple
posting-
of those contracts.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
was
he had a-
posting like shots or whatever.
Yeah, but he's been pretty good shape for an old.
No, I would have never guessed he was
He's been there,
76
yeah.
straill up.
No,
But-
no. 76?
But that's still no
76
excuse.
Let's be honest,
I'm
not
gonna
bad.
I'm gonna give you that, but I ain't gonna give you the
Yeah,
comment.
no, yeah,
He got a
no.
handful of
That's
hair.
it. That's where I
I
cut it
know.
off.
We need to talking about everything else, but he ain't no civil rights leader.
Right,
But you got
right,
good hair right now. Hold on.
Right.
Your hair is working. You
To be
still
from
got that
80.
thick lash. Yes.
Not bad.
All right, we're gonna go on from Geraldo. We're gonna go into our EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week. Well, my boy
comedy.
Tyler Perry is back in the news again.
Yeah.
He has been dragged many times in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We first
Yes,
talked about
honey.
him even on last week's show
Yeah.
about the writer's room and people getting in their feelings about his comments about not having a writer's room. And
Yup.
then they start going in on how his projects would probably be better if he did have more writers that had input on his movies and TV shows. But this week, once again, he is getting dragged for his Netflix film, A Fall from Grace, that premiered. I was at Courtney's house last Sunday, and she was watching it and making all kind of comments. And some of the comments are some of the comments I'm gonna read. Courtney was making. So the film starred Cicely Tyson, Felicia Rashad, Brescia Webb, Mekhi Brooks, Crystal Fox. And Rotten Tomatoes actually gave it 36%. Let's start there, you know. And
I was gonna say, I literally was about to say, wow, okay.
Oh, you
You
thought
impressed by
that was a
that?
good
Yeah.
score?
I thought it was better than I would have expected.
They never even critique his stuff now. I even noticed.
Yeah.
well-
I mean, I thought it'd be like 2%.
Well, yeah, I mean, from these comments, I would have thought it'd been lower myself, actually, because fans have been kind of torn in between. You know, some fans are like, it's okay, but the majority of comments have been kind of negative. So basically, fans are saying stuff like, why is the whole movie gloomy? There are no lights of any kind in these places. Hashtag a fall from grace. Another comment was, you think someone who just celebrated opening a giant studio would pay attention to detail and produce a higher quality movie? It was truly hashtag a fall from grace. Some said production was a rush and writing was poor, but my favorite dragged comment was, the wigs are ass. The wigs are ass. That's my favorite. So Tyler has actually commented. He tweeted out like, first he did a thank you for everyone who watched his movie,
Yes.
and then he also said laugh out loud. Basically, the tweets were hilarious. So he's been watching the comments.
Yeah.
But Courtney, what did you think? I mean, the wigs were kind of bad. I can't lie. I mean,
The wigs were bad.
the
wigs were bad.
The wigs were bad.
I mean, clearly, like you said, I was watching it at my house when you came by, and I finished watching it after you left. It was just, look, I'm a filmmaker, you know what I'm saying? And hope to continue to elevate to really get some substantial money to be making films, right? So I understand, like, low-budget film work. Like, I get it. But, bruh, like, yo, the main character's wig changed twice in the same scene.
Oh, wow.
Within, like 3 seconds. Like, it was
Where
a different...
Where was the continuity manager?
There was no continuity. Like, the bat broke when she was beating the dude, but then in the next moment, it wasn't broken. Like,
No.
just the most basic of things that shouldn't happen. Like, and it turned look, it could have been a fun Lifetime movie type thriller, which I love Lifetime thrillers. Like,
can be
I'll sit
quality
and watch a
movies.
Lifetime thriller all night.
Great quality
You know what I'm
movies.
saying? But then it turned what that could have been into, literally, it was a comedy. It was a joke. And I just can't understand in his own, like, I get his, like, ego, like, he's out there, we shot this in 5 days, bro. That's not impressive when we saw what had happened.
Quality.
Right.
Like, if it was, like, amazing and it was shot in 5 days, then we'd be like, yo, you did that
That's
in 5
dope.
days.
You did that thing.
So I
Right.
just think it's weird. Like, I'm like, are you trying to Jedi mind trick us? Like, you doing this on purpose because you're just trying to fuck with us? Like, what is going on? Because you cannot possibly think that this is acceptable. Like, even for a low budget film, like, you
And
do
to
your
put it on
best.
Netflix at that.
Yes.
Because Netflix has been bomb with their quality movies.
You know what I'm
I mean?
saying? Like I said, I'm not looking for, I don't know, the Shawshank Redemption. Like, I'm just looking for a good Lifetime thrillery type situation. And he just, like, the most basic stuff. You got Cicely Tyson working. You got Felicia Rashad, and that's what you came up with? Like, I think it's sad, actually. And I think it's sad that he's not bothered if he's not bothered by the quality of that. And I know there's all kind of debate about, he's hiring black actors and this, that, and the other. I'm like, yeah, that's great. But come on, dude. You could do a little bit better than that.
Right. I mean, I'm with you on that. I mean, we talked about this kind of last week. One thing I will give him is the fact that, like you just said, he is employing a lot of African American and people of color actors that may not get the chances that they are given with his projects. But on the flip side, you want to put out a quality project. It's like you don't want to just be putting stuff out, you know, like
and everything doesn't have to.
And
be
everybody's not
amazing.
just always going to look at it, you know. You just assuming that everyone's always just going to be a fan and just look at your stuff. But
well, he's assuming his fan base is his fan base, and that's all he cares about, and they're going to support him regardless. Because people came hard, like on the internet. Like if you liked it, people came hard for you. If you didn't like it, people came hard for you. If you was in the middle, people came hard for you for not supporting and not like. There's people that didn't watch at all. They're like, I'm not Tyler Perry's audience. That's not my cup of tea, and they got attacked. Like, oh, you're not supporting black art, and you're not doing this. It's like. Well, I don't know. Like, when did Tyler Perry become like this deity of art in Hollywood that black people can't even have real critical conversations about what he's doing and still like appreciate what he has been able to achieve?
Right.
But like, can we not say, bro, can you just like turn on a key light for the main actor? Like,
right. Can we get some lighting?
Can we get? Yeah. I don't know.
What do you think, Chad?
You know, the dichotomy is it's funny. Specifically, I agree with everything she said, but typically, cinematically, Tyler Perry makes terrible movies. I hate to be like.
I didn't know where it was gonna go. I didn't know where you had that like 3-second pause.
You know what I mean?
I was like, what is he gonna say right
I can
now?
go different. I was debating on being political or not.
Yeah.
Right. I feel you.
But you know, even like Ebert and Roper, they stopped grading his movies.
Yeah.
They stopped even.
When the
and I
critics
support
give
the
up-
art and our culture, but yeah, I do think he does make money off of the typical, quintessential, almost stereotypical, like black struggle,
sure.
specifically blac female struggle.
Yeah, for sure.
Not dope.
Right.
Some people said that there was an interesting debate going on, though. Like, they're saying, okay, yes, in regards to him making his fortune basically off of these sort of stereotypical ideas of black women and the suffering of black women.
Right.
However, the debate was, is that in the end worth it because of what it has allowed him to achieve? Like when Puerto Rico needs a plane to fly down and bring them food, he actually has the availability to get a plane and get them some food.
Sure.
He can go to Haiti and take care of these people. He can go into the community of Atlanta and bring a bunch of foster kids who have nowhere else to go.
Step and fetch it.
Is it worth that?
Like, where do you mean? Where do we draw the line? Step and fetch it did his stuff.
First, Step and fetch it didn't own it though.
No, he didn't.
So does it
First
make a
cinematic
difference?
black movie star. Paid a high price though.
Yeah.
Where do we, you know what I mean? There's so many.
I mean, listen, I think that the stories need to be like certain stories need to be told.
So do you specifically?
He was like, no.
I want to get back. So do you specifically feel like he's that therein lies the justification of it though?
Oh, I can't.
Do you subscribe to that notion?
I can't even, like, I don't engage with Tyler Perry generally, and the only reason I was watching it is because I had started to see the memes pop up, like, and I long ago decided I'm not his audience, and
me too.
I just can't participate.
Stop watching.
Because, but I can't not respect what the ownership means.
This is your life. This is what you do.
And this is what you do, and this is what you saw, and as a creative, like, that's what you've envisioned and figured out. Like, you have the right to do that. Whether or not I agree with it is irrelevant, and there's enough people that agree with it that let him have a career. So who am I to be no, you shouldn't do that? Because especially now that we're in a place where I think we are getting more slowly, but we are getting more representations in different places. It's difficult when it's like just Tyler Perry movies, you know what I'm saying? Like, or just Spike Lee movies. Like, we need the balance, and I think we're getting closer to that because we have other artists making films that are getting out there and things like that. So that makes it better for me. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I just want to talk to him for real. Like, I really want to be like, does it bother you? Like, are you just, is it all just like a hoax? Like, maybe this was just a whole plan. He fully is aware of what is going on, what he's doing, and he just knows that, sadly, I don't want to say this, I feel bad, but kind of like Trump.
Oh, wow, you compared them
No,
together.
but like, he knows his audience.
Right.
And he's playing to that audience.
Yeah, you're right about that though.
So is that
Trump with that veiled,
I hope
the
veiled campaign, veiled racism,
Yeah.
and then Tyler Perry with his struggle female dichotomy. You know what I mean?
Stereotypical, what
the parallel is not far fetched.
I mean, that's true. I
parallel
just
is
hope
not
that's not the
far-fetched.
case, though.
You know what I mean?
I feel what you're saying. I can
Perry
understand
got
how you
all
feel
that.
that way.
Because it might have started as like Medea, for instance, was like tribute, like because there are elements of Medea that we know.
I'm
was
still
in our
a fan of
grandparents,
Medea.
You know what I'm
though.
saying?
That's the thing about
I mean,
But
that's
what
like
I'm saying
everybody's
is he
auntie. They
saw-
got an auntie that's like Medea.
But he
Everybody
took-
knows somebody.
But he took that and he understood why people are so attached to that, and he just ran with it. Because that's, in the end, all he's done is like an extension of all that messiness.
Derrial, have you heard that I've heard this. I don't know read this. That he took the Medea character from somebody already that was doing the whole that shtick.
That shtick? I didn't hear that. No. That's
Okay, yeah, I read that about, and even almost even came after him legally about it.
Oh, I didn't hear.
I didn't hear
that. Ooh.
Well, I gotta read up on that one. That sounds
no.
that sounds like we may be talking about Tyler Perry again next week.
Interesting.
Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I mean, listen, he's making money regardless, and he is getting he's employing a lot of people of color. So, but we might need to switch up these projects a little bit.
I just hope one day he just opens the doors a little wider and
right.
gives even more place to other voices.
Maybe the writer room is a good idea. Let's just say that.
Apparently not for what he's trying to do.
Well, not for what he's trying
He
to do.
got to
I've
open his
heard
mind.
about that. Oh Lord.
Yeah, you're right about that.
He's got to
Lord
open his
have
mind or
mercy.
want to be open to
to
other.
that.
And
Yeah.
right now, clearly he is not.
He
But
is not.
A
but
Fall from Grace on Netflix if you want a good laugh.
check it out.
I wish it wasn't Dry January because I would have had much more fun watching it. But
Get your wigs ready. Speaking of wigs, there'll be a lot of them on this Sunday at the Grammys 2020. The performers this year include Lizzo, Billie Eilish, Charlie Wilson from the Gap Band, Ariana Grande, her, Jonas Brothers, Run DMC. I'm kind of hype about Run DMC. I can't lie about that.
Interesting.
Tyler, the Creator. The show is, they always bring it in. It's that time of year again. It's at Staples Center. It airs, like I said, Sunday night, and I'll be watching.
you'll be watching.
I'll be checking it out.
You're not gonna go.
Okay.
I'm
Partying
actually not.
afterwards?
I'm probably gonna party. I'm not going to the awards this year. But I will be going Tuesday to the Grammys Prince tribute that they're doing
Oh.
at Staples Center, which I'm super hype about. If you guys don't know, I'm a huge Prince fan. And they got performers like John Legend, Alicia Keys, The Revolution, his backing band, Beck, Earth, Wind & Fire, Foo Fighters, and Sheila E. is doing the hosting for the event. So
that's
it should be
nice.
pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
I have a
Exciting.
quick question from the booth.
Yeah.
They are doing a Nipsey Hussle tribute at the Grammys, which
They
is
are.
really dope because he was up for the Grammy last year. And it's going to feature DJ Khaled, John Legend, Roddy Ricch, Kirk Franklin, Meek Mill, and YG. And I'm curious what your opinions are about those performers picked for that tribute.
Courtney, go ahead. Or actually, no, Chad.
Let Chad,
this
the
is the
musician.
musician.
Chad
telling
in
the
the
us.
rapper in the
building.
building.
You know what? Exceedingly appropriate. I'll co-sign
Everyone?
99% of them.
Oh.
I think that, you know what? 100% of them.
Okay.
I want to know who the
Who was
the
who was the
iffy
one who was a
is.
little
The
bit like
holdout, the
who-
iffy, the holdout was I feel like in a nutshell, Khaled is slightly something I would consider a culture vulture. He very profits off of rap culture.
Okay.
And I know that is his bread and butter, and that's a totally different topic. But Roddy Ricch and his
I like that.
acceptance of it's a blessing and a curse that he got as a Grammy without Nipsey being here. YG being a brother, a Nipsey, and everybody else.
Yeah.
I think that he, West Coast, he's more than just a rapper. So I
Yeah.
co-sign
Yeah.
that representation for it.
I didn't think of it with the Khaled comment. I didn't think about it in that way. I was hyped to see kind of everyone perform. I just want to see the performance because I feel like it's going to be crazy, dope energy. But
without a doubt, that's
but I can see your
going, that's
point.
going to come.
I can see your
For
point.
sure. For sure.
And I think it's just going to be a good performance overall.
Of course. I don't doubt the performance. I don't doubt the lineup. I don't doubt what.
Who would you have taken out and put in instead of?
Instead of Khaled?
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
For sure.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can
Fair
see
enough.
that. That's fair. Yeah.
Nice little
Yeah.
Compton West Coast Nipsey.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Get down.
why Kendrick should have been. Well, maybe
Easy.
he wasn't available.
Yeah,
but
easy.
Right.
yeah, because that
Right.
It would have made actually more sense.
a little more sense
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear about the Grammys? Who is it? The president that got?
Oh yeah,
fired?
was she officially fired, or I know she had
or
to leave
on leave,
on leave,
whatever it is. It's really strange, and she was actually sort of trying to help shift the energy at the Grammys, like in terms of their respect for hip hop, black artists, brown artists, and things like that. And it was kind of strange that right around now, suddenly she's ousted.
Yeah.
Or set aside for a while.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, and that story seems to be quickly developing with more.
I know.
things.
I'm like interested to see like what actually comes out about what went down
Yeah.
because they've been real hush about that.
They have been very hush. Yeah.
Probably trying to keep the awards on track.
My guess is that they're trying to keep the focus on people watching the awards versus the controversy, but it's also interesting in the same sense because the controversy is happening at the same time as the awards.
Exactly.
So, you know what I'm saying?
And was
So-
that debate about what was going
Is that-
on
is
with
that
the awards? Like,
right.
is that why she's not there anymore?
And is that also hype for us to be like, oh, I'm definitely tuning in on Sunday because now it's like
don't
in my ear.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
But will you guys
You know, I have a
actually-
conspiracy theory about every single
True.
move that happens in media.
But will you guys actually tune into the awards like when they air on CBS or whatever they air on? Or will you just go to YouTube the next morning and watch the performances?
I'm gonna
No, I watch it
I'm gonna
live.
watch it
Yeah,
live.
most
You watch it
yeah, I
live?
feel like we
Okay.
yeah.
I like to watch
Good
it
for
live.
y'all.
Yeah.
Good job.
You don't watch it live?
Nah, like I used to be like super every time the awards came on, like especially the Grammys and the VMAs, like I was there. But like now, I just think they're boring, and I want to watch
A lot of
the
them are.
performances.
No, they are.
afterwards.
I'm not excited. I'm not gonna go to a party hosted with
Yeah.
the theme is that, but you know what I'm saying?
You'll tune in. That's
Yeah.
good. Give them the ratings. I
Give
believe.
them, you know. Yeah, but I think also it's
I'll
just the
probably
award shows are
record it
just
and watch it, so-
oversaturated.
Recorded and watch it is the thing.
Yeah.
If I have something booked, I will definitely not watch. So she's right.
Yeah.
She's right.
No.
Yeah.
It's not must see I feel like
No.
it used to be must see
No, it
television,
used to be.
and it's not.
Back in the day, it used to be.
Yeah.
But
Better
what
hosts.
is must see TV anymore? Must see TV now is Trump, and you know.
No, not even that, honey.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't is that done? Is there nothing that
What
you
is
like
there?
want to
What
make
is
sure you're
must-see
there
TV?
for
I mean,
when
the
it comes
thing that
out?
I
Unless
do-
like sports championships,
Sports championships, that's true.
Super
like,
Bowls,
Super Bowl,
finals,
college
championships.
championships,
That's
football
it?
championships.
these are quintessentials.
But if you want to
Yeah.
go into the realm of award shows, maybe the Oscars,
Or just like
maybe the
TV,
Oscars. People
just
still
television in general.
Oscars is still
People still watch the
People still watch it.
People watch the Grammys.
People watch the
They've been
Grammys.
declining lately, but he's right.
Yeah.
People still watch them.
But other than that, like TV wise, there's nothing that you like feel like you want to see all the time when it's on.
I mean, the
Not
stuff
like-
that I do,
No.
most of America probably
No.
doesn't. I mean, I watch like MTV The Challenge. You know what I mean? Like I'm addicted to that show. I can, most of America don't care about
That's
that.
so
For real?
interesting.
That one?
It-
I love
Yeah,
that show.
I don't- I'm like,
It's
really?
something about that
That's
show.
the
I
one you
love
wanna
The
see?
Challenge. I
Okay.
love it.
I watch everything, but there's nothing that I like.
On the
have
spot
to
right now,
watch.
top 2 shows.
Oh, 90 Day Fiance.
Oh.
We both watch that.
For real? Up there
Oh,
like
straight up.
that?
And life and
Power.
that and Life After Lockup.
You
for
like,
me.
that's your Power?
Easy.
Yeah.
Like, before I even think,
Well, see-
before I even need 2 thoughts.
Well, Power would be on my list if I had
came back.
stars,
Just
but I
came
have to
back.
like watch the old.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have to
no,
watch
it's
So,
the
so,
staggering.
so do you know who killed Ghost? Who do you think killed Ghost?
I have an idea, but that's a loaded question if you didn't know it or not. I have plans on watching that. I gotta watch that. I haven't seen it yet. It's out, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay,
So
all
I
right.
gotta see that. I gotta
All
see
right.
that.
All right. Well, it's all about music, and that's what you about,
I
man.
know.
You
You,
know what
you
I'm
don't have
saying?
time to be watching
Yeah.
TV.
You
You're
don't
in
have
the
time. You
studio,
making- you making
touring,
tracks.
Making tracks and
I don't. Right.
So here, I gotta give the shout out to the audience and let them know, or give you a shout out because you found us, and we're glad that you found
did.
Black Hollywood Live and got
Oh.
on here because started looking at all your stuff, man. Super talented brother.
Yes,
you.
y'all.
I'm sure that your Grammy's coming soon.
Man,
You know.
Amen.
Amen.
We received that.
Claim
We
that.
claim and receive that.
Absolutely.
So tell us about how you got in this business.
Mm-hmm.
I started making my own music professionally like 2 years ago, but I had taken conservatory school. Parents put me in it. Grew up in the church, could sing and all that. So that plus the background, I just decided to start taking it serious.
Singing and rapping. So wait, give us a little something that you like to sing. Give something from church.
Praise and worship.
All right, let's hear it.
You want me to sing right
Yeah,
now?
just a little 10-second acapella.
Okay. You made me think of some gospel music right now. I was gonna sing some rap. I'm gonna just do some rap.
You can do whatever. Do what you want.
I'm gonna just do some rap real
Yeah.
quick. Just a reference song that I do before I record real quick. It's actually a Drake verse. We're doing this live.
Yes.
All I gotta do is put my mind to the shit. Cancel out my ex, I put a line through that bitch. I like all my S's with 2 lines through them shits. Everybody tryna fuck it, but I'm fine with that shit. I never mind, girl, that's just you. I know you play hard for that shit. You know they gon' hate, girl, don't put your heart in that shit. Even no game, but you were too smart for that shit. Anyways, I forgot the lyrics, but anyways, I did that.
No, hey, listen.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Derrial did that. Derrial did that.
You did that thing.
No,
did that.
I never sing live on shit like that, but
Hey.
yeah, I'm saying I'm proud of you. Get the
You
gold
got
medal
it.
for getting me to sing
BHL
like that
exclusive,
live.
man.
Or do that.
But see, now
You're
remember me
exclusive.
when you had that acceptance speech.
And you were like,
I like to
and I had to
Absolutely.
thank y'all for this
Go.
Grammy. But my boy, shout out to my
Yes.
boy Derrial
Threw me out
Christon.
there.
Threw me out
Absolutely.
there, made me
Yeah.
sing on BHL.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
What's your favorite? Like, are you who did you feel like you kind of emulated or you want to be like? I mean, you just did a Drake track. Is he somebody who
Inspires
you the most, or
I take inspiration from like Raphael Sadiq.
okay?
Kid Cudi, old school Kanye West, not new school Kanye West. Let me be very
Oh.
specific about that. Old school Kanye West, college dropout type Kanye West.
We all.
Yeah, we all missed that Kanye West. Yeah.
So that type of joint. So I mean, I think Drake embodies a lot of those influences.
Absolutely.
Which is like,
Agreed.
you know what I mean, singing
sure.
rap.
And that Jimmy Lee album by Raphael Sadiq is
Exactly. Yeah, you get to check you out, Derrial.
listen.
It's
Wow.
amazing.
Most people don't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, it's in my
It's
car
so
right
weird
now.
that came up because I literally was just thinking about that when I was
I
hiking
love that
this morning.
album.
I was like,
How
I
niche.
actually was
so
just talking
good.
about how it should have been Grammy nominated, but I think it missed the cutoff. I think
Oh,
I was
did
talking to a
it?
friend
Yeah,
about it. I
yeah.
think when it was released,
The semantics
It was
about that,
right.
yeah.
because
Which is
they've
so
been giving it
weird.
praise, but I feel like it missed that time period of
'Cause
when
it got
I
a
hate
lot
that.
of critical praise.
I
Like,
mean,
it
it's-
was
every track on that album
for sure.
to me
I hate
is
that.
Absolutely.
sick. So back to
Where-
you.
Yes, back to you. Why? How did you decide to go more hip hop as opposed to having grown up in the church, and
Right.
singing in the church?
Right.
Sometimes your family is not always on board with the hip hop.
Everything
end
you
of
said,
it.
you're right. Absolutely
what,
right.
What moved you in that direction as opposed to staying in gospel?
When I was because I still sing,
Mm-hmm.
and I know it's played in the church and by my aunties and my mom. It's not necessarily the music that I make, but I think like you need that Beyonce, Ray Charles. I feel like the greatest of our culture have that background.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna sing, if you're gonna make any kind of music, I feel like you gotta know what you're doing. Know what you can't just guess out here with notes, melodies,
Lauryn Hill.
and all
Some
that.
people
You know what I mean?
be guessing.
Just
They
be,
should
you can
stop.
tell.
They should stop. Yeah.
So I'm not trying to be vocally. I'm not going to serenade you every track like a Trey songs, but I just feel like to have the ability is quintessential. So I'm going to count. I'm gonna make the right bars and lyrics, but when I feel like it, then you know what I mean. I know the right keys and melodies and chords to make a good song still too.
Yeah, you've done some, heavy. You had a YouTube video that did very well. and
Yeah.
You've been opening up for people. So
Yep.
what's 2020 looking like for you? What you
Oh,
got
man.
coming up?
So I have so tomorrow will be at in Inglewood. I have a show on Inglewood. It's my first show in Inglewood, believe it or not.
Really?
Where's it at?
Good.
So people can
231 South La Brea, the Awake, $10. I'll be there tomorrow night. Then Saturday, I'll be at my first festival in Silver Lake, the LA Mini Fest.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
be
Okay, yeah.
I'll be doing that Saturday. And then the very next Saturday, it's the lifestyle and award-winning clothing brand Underrated. I'll be doing that launch party at the Industry Lofts in Hollywood.
Okay.
So those are the next few things. I'll be on the Tammy Mac show in about 2 weeks. Check back for the date specifically. We're finalizing now with you guys are very efficient with the booking and the finalizing things.
We try to be.
Appreciate that.
For sure.
And then musically, what's coming up? Like as far as like you record new tracks. You
Yep.
know, when is everything coming?
So we just released my first project, Tattoo Sleeves and Leather Briefcases. So that's steadily
And
doing
what
love
is
the
that
name of
inspired by?
that. So in a
That's a
nutshell,
hell of a title.
I
So.
know.
it's kind of wordy.
Yeah, but it's
I like
nice.
it, though.
It's cool,
Tattoo
though.
sleeves and other briefcases.
a little
I
mysterious,
have a
too.
tattoo sleeve. So enigmatic. That's what we played off of. So it's the yin and yang. It's the dichotomy of the opposites, like the good and evil.
Yeah.
So tattoo sleeves represents my more refined side. Leather briefcase. Oh, I'm sorry. Tattoo sleeves represents the street side, and the leather briefcases represents like the corporate side. So I just wanted to do, that's what the project is. It's a couple of different, and the rapper more influenced like lyrical versions of tracks are the street version, and then the more singing tracks that we got into are the melodic ones that we would consider like the court side of the briefcases. So which is a dichotomy to show the full version in that first project. So the next one we'll get into more specific stuff, but just showing range, lyrical value
Like
plus
that.
like
I like the
singing ability.
I like the
vocal
yin and the
ability.
yang of it
Yeah.
too.
You
know what I mean?
I feel like the making of a great artist really has to have both. Like you said, you've said some of the
Nowadays.
great ones. Especially
You have
now,
to.
Music
you know?
now, especially, it's all kind of blended together.
You have to.
and
The best ones,
genre-wise, yeah,
the best
for
ones.
Sure. Mhm.
I mean, I still got to go back. I mean, we don't have her as much anymore as far as like making new music. But Lauryn Hill was the epitome of the greatness of that.
Where is
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill?
How she could throw down equally the same amount of hip hop
Fire with the
and
bars.
rap
And the vocals
and the
and
vocals
the
be the
chords.
same. She
Come
can
on,
make
somebody.
a full
Come
love
on,
song
somebody.
album and a
From the
hip-hop
Refugee?
album.
Come on,
Yeah,
give me
come on.
something.
You know what I mean? Like,
Come on.
bring it back, Lauren. Bring it back. I'm still listening to Miseducation.
We've been asking to bring it back
We've been
for
asking
20
for a
years.
I'm
while.
not even gonna be.
y'all.
Yeah, the hope is. Yeah,
It's
I don't
gone.
want to keep.
I think it's
yeah,
gone. Oh, well, I never
exactly.
say never.
You never say never, but
know.
I'm not.
You never
You know what I
know.
mean?
We might get surprised by her offspring, because her offspring are all like of the miracle
They
generation.
are.
I mean, she
I
got
mean,
That's true.
That's
You know what I'm
Marley.
saying? That's
Marley.
Marley
That's
Blood
true. Yeah, he got up
and-
in there.
Yeah.
between her offspring and Erica Badu. We might get some.
Erica Badu. Yeah, she got one with
Andre
Andre
3000.
3000, who's a big
Yeah.
influence.
Seven.
Yeah.
Their son,
Seven.
Seven. Yeah.
Come on, somebody.
So
All right. Well, where can fans find you? About get some dates,
the
the
dates,
music, all that
where to
stuff on
find
social
everything.
media.
The best place to find me is Instagram, Chad.Watson. My stories and highlights will have everything I have upcoming. But of course, you can find my music and content on every social. You'll find your favorite platform: Apple, iTunes, YouTube, Tidal, Amazon, Spotify, SoundCloud. I'm everywhere you can think of. So,
All right.
yep.
right.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
no,
No, you gotta come back, man.
Thank you for coming.
For sure.
Courtney.
I'm on the social media universe at Stewart Starlet, and I will be here next week.
All right. Well, you can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. On the new season of This Is LA on
It's
CBS coming
coming.
out next month. And you may find me at Chad's hairstylist. Come and get my
I was
braids.
like, his
Oh, okay.
cornrows are
I'm,
real
Okay.
nice,
I'm getting my
y'all.
curls jumping off, but I might
Yes.
I'm gonna fool y'all and get some little cornrows
His
jumping off.
Shout out
cornrows
my
is
mama,
right.
man.
Your
mama.
That's my mom.
That's
Mom,
the
I'm gonna come
best.
over.
That's
Exactly.
the best.
Mom, I'm gonna come over because you did it right. You look good. All right, y'all. Chad, come back, man.
Appreciate you guys.
And
Thanks
get his
again.
music, y'all. Check him out.
For sure.
All right, we'll see y'all next week on Black Hollywood Live's The Trend.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.